Hello friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mary and today's video is going to be a book tag. So I'm going to be doing the how do we rate our books tag. I saw Reading with Moni do this and I thought it sounded really fun. The original tag was by Novels. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. I will hopefully remember to have her video linked down below. If you would like to do this tag, I'm not going to tag anybody at the end, spoilers, but if you want to do this tag, please do. If you don't have a channel or you don't feel like doing this tag, just answer the questions down below. That would be really fun for me because this is a topic that I'm really curious about. I know a lot of people use Cawpile, which I believe was originated by G from Book Roast. And I used to use that too, but I don't anymore. So anyways, I'm going to answer the questions and I will also have these down below in case you want to follow along. So the first question is, how often do you DNF and what makes you DNF a book? And my answer is I don't DNF often enough. I am learning to DNF more, but I'm still more likely to DNF a series after reading the first book or the second book or a book I don't really enjoy than I am to just drop a book because I want to know how it ends. And also I have read books that I felt meh about throughout and then they have a really good ending or something. So what makes me DNF a book primarily, if I have a physical book that I have to read and I'm not really vibing with the writing style or the content just doesn't interest me, I'm more likely to DNF that than I am an audiobook per se. And I do a lot of audiobook reading. If you've been on this channel before, you know that. I get a lot of my reading done through audiobooks when I'm driving and stuff like that, doing chores around the house. That is how I do the bulk of my reading. But, so audiobooks I'm much less likely to DNF because I'm listening to it. So obviously it takes less effort for me to finish those things. But the reasons I will DNF books, again, is if I'm physically reading it. A lot of times I'll DNF books that I get from the library if I run out of time to read it. And if it's not really exciting me, I'll just DNF it. I just won't come back to it. That's happened quite a few times. And then I also will DNF books that just if I'm not enjoying it, if I'm having an actively bad time reading it, that is when I'm most likely to DNF something. But again, I'm not very good at it and I need to do it more. The second question is, do you rate books 1 star? And I don't think I do. I usually, if I dislike a book, I rate it 2 stars. I used to rate books I DNF'd 1 star and then I realized that wasn't really fair because I didn't finish them. So I've stopped doing that. But I pretty much will only rate a book 1 star if I absolutely hated it, should not have finished it. 2 stars, really, I shouldn't have finished because for whatever reason, I didn't like it. But I don't really give 1 star reviews just because if I've read the whole thing, I don't actively hate it that much. At least to this point, I haven't actively hated it that much. Also, I think I just talked myself into giving it at least 2 stars. I don't really know why that is, but no, I don't really use the 1 star. Question 3 is, what is a 2-star book for you? I kind of already talked about this, but a 2-star book is a book I didn't like. Whether I just found it super boring, whether it was just annoying to read, or it really disappointed me in some way. Those are the books I usually give 2 stars. It's not very common, but I did have a 2-star read in October. Hopefully I will have my October wrap up coming up this next week, I think. Or it'll get kind of too late to do that. So I know I said I wasn't gonna do one originally, but I think I am actually gonna do one. Question 4 is a 3-star book a good book for you? Yes and no. So 3 stars for me is basically I felt meh about the book. It usually means it wasn't a bad book and I didn't dislike my time reading it, but there was nothing special about it and I probably won't think about it again. That being said, there are 3-star books that I think are good books for some people. They're just usually not good books for me. But it's not a bad reading for me. It just means I felt like it was fine. There was nothing special about it. There was nothing terrible about it. It was fine. Question 5 is, what does 4 stars mean to you? For me, a 4-star book is a book that I really enjoyed. So it's usually, honestly, I have a lot of 3-star reads and not as many 4 and 5-star reads, but a 4-star book is typically a book that a 4-star book is a book that I really enjoyed, but for whatever reason, it didn't quite hit love, a new favorite. And I think I can be pretty harsh with my 5-star reads. This might be another question, but yeah, it is another question. So I'm going to hold off on responding to that part of it. But yeah, I do tend to rate more books 4 stars than 5 stars. And 4 stars, again, means that a book was really good. I really liked it. I would really recommend it, but I just, for whatever reason, can't quite say that I loved it. Question 6 is, do you ever do half-star ratings? And I use Goodreads to rate my books, so officially no. However, if you follow me on Goodreads, I do tend to give half stars typically the half stars that I give are like 2.5 or 3.5 stars. So sometimes I round down, sometimes I round up. It really just depends on how a book is for me. But I always want to give that disclaimer because like there are some books that I enjoyed, I just don't think were that special. And so those are books that I usually am like, this is a 3.5 star book. I'm rounding it down to 3, or I'll round it up to 4 because I'm like, I liked it more than I disliked it. But typically, like, it takes me a minute to come up with which side I'm going to go on. But no, I don't generally give half-star ratings. Although I have started to more because I just feel like 5 stars, like, only having 5 options, I have so many, like, ranges of like to dislike that it's hard to just rate within that binary, if that makes sense. Question 7 is about 5 stars. And so it says, do you rate books 5 stars often? And my answer for this is not as often as I would like, but that's just because for me, I want there to be a clear distinction between a 4-star book and a 5-star book. And for the most part, there is. So like I was saying, 4-star books are books I really enjoyed. 5-star books are books that I loved, like books that I want to own, that I would consider like I want to reread eventually, books that I feel very, very strongly about. If I don't feel strongly enough about it, it's got to be a 4-star. The other thing though, the other half of this question is, what do 5-star books do that make you give them 5 stars? If a book makes me cry and makes me really emotional, I'm much more likely to give it 5 stars than not, especially if it was like teetering on a 4-star, but I wasn't quite sure. If it makes me cry, that will push it over the edge. But typically, books that I rate 5 stars are just books that are like very impactful for me, that I feel very strongly about, that I would like gladly tell everyone about. Like if it's a book that I want to talk about a lot, typically that's going to be a 5-star read. Not always, but that's a good rule of thumb for me. It's just a book that I love. And I will say, I do kind of have the tendency to want to rate books 5 stars only if I feel that they're like perfect or pretty close to perfect for me. I know that's not super attainable, but like books that I really feel connected to, that's what makes me rate a book 5 stars. And recently it hasn't been happening as often as I would like. So if you have books that you think that I would really connect to, or that you really connected to, and you want to recommend to me, I'm always on the lookout for new 5-star reads and favorites. I've had fewer this year, I think. I don't know, but I feel like I haven't had as many 5-star reads this year as I normally have. Question 8 is, has your rating of books changed over the years? And yes, like I mentioned, I did used to use Cawpile, and then I switched to a more like enjoyment-based rating system, because the reason I started using Cawpile, I don't remember even how I did it before then, but it just felt like I was randomly assigning stars to books for no real good reason. And so I wanted to have more of a system. And if you don't know Cawpile, I think the C is characters, the A is atmosphere, the W is writing, the P is plot, the I is intrigue. I don't remember the rest of it, but I don't remember how all of it works, so you'll have to look at someone's video who does. But I did used to use that system. The problem I was running into with that though is that I was just sort of ranking each thing randomly the same way I would give out stars. So I was ending up with a lot of like 3 and 4-star books still, because I just, especially with that, it was hard for me to give like an atmosphere a 10 out of 10, you know? And the way Cawpile works is if you rank all of the things out of 10, and then you add them together and divide it to get the average, and then the average is associated with the star. So for me, I liked it at first, and then the more I used it, the more I was like, this kind of feels the same as when I would just assign a star rating. So I decided to switch to just an enjoyment-based system because I thought that it would be easier for me to just conceptualize how do I feel about what I'm reading, and not make it quite so like a literal rating, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does, and I don't think I'm explaining this well, but that was my thought process. And question 9 is, where do you record your ratings of books? And the answer to that is Goodreads. I use Goodreads still. I know some people switch to Storygraph. I have not switched. It seems like a lot. I have a lot on Goodreads, and honestly, I don't mind Goodreads interface, and I'm not really looking for Goodreads to be like another social media platform. I use it for me. Like, I don't necessarily use it to see what my friends are reading. I do like that you can see what other people are reading, and if you want to add me on there, I would love to be added, but like I'm not really in it for like the groups and stuff like that. I basically just use it as a place to put what I'm reading. So I use Goodreads. I like Goodreads. I know people don't love Amazon as a corporation, and I don't either, but like Goodreads works for me, so that's what I've been using. I also use this platform, YouTube. And that's it. Those are the 9 questions, I think, of this tag. So like I mentioned, I'm not going to tag anyone to do this, but if you would like to do it, go ahead. Tag me in your video because I would love to watch it, or just leave it linked in the comments down below. If you agree or disagree with me on anything that I said, sound off in the comments. I would love to hear how you rate books because, again, I think this is really interesting because it really does depend on the person and how you do things. Like some people, I feel like pretty much only give like 3 stars, 5 stars, or they DNF. And I definitely have more of a like gradient in there, but I mean, I love that for you if that's how you rate books. I mean, reading is fun. It's just for fun. That's the only reason I do it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this tag. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to this channel, I do try to post 2 videos a week. I went on a break where I was only posting 1 video a week, and now I'm back to trying to do 2 videos a week. We'll see how long I can make that last, but if you want to see more from me, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I do talk about primarily books, but I also throw some makeup, some lifestyle, some other stuff. I like to do vlogs, things like that. So if you like that kind of content, definitely subscribe. And I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!